Hello, collective. Welcome and welcome back, darlings. Let's get a message for you to see what you need to know at this time. Child. These moon cycles in the end of this year have tired me out. I am tuckered out, tussling with these moons. Somebody's name could start with a T. Anyway, y'all be sure to like and subscribe, okay? To continue to catch the vibe. Do not bring anything into your life that doesn't belong. That would be stupid. And you're not stupid, are you? You're very intelligent, okay? Go with your own intuition. That's going to be your best bet. So even if I say something, it doesn't matter how much you trust me, how much you like me. I could say something that triggers you tomorrow, and then you're not going to like me no more. So go with your intuition, my loves. If you want to book a reading, that link is below. Hype up the video, you guys, if you can. And, I hope these messages help you. Let's see, guardian angels, archangels, spirit guides, and ancestors of the highest vibration, Father, Mother, God, for the collective. When it comes to what they need to know, what is the message? What does the collective need to know at this time? Wow, love bombing, overly attentive, showered with affection, personal gain. So you need to ask why. These are a lot of the important questions. These are important questions, child. Ask why. Okay? If you feel like somebody is lathering it on way too thick, you need to ask why. If you feel like somebody is doing something for you and you get a weird feeling about it, ask why. Okay? Why are you doing this for me? Why are you so interested in me? Why do you want to take me out? Why? Because whatever. And people, depending on your situation, people sometimes get thrown off by that question, right? If you're in a position where somebody may be able to benefit from something that you have, or again, personal gain could be a subject or a topic in your situation right now. It doesn't have to just be with love, okay? This is an energy that's talking about a person or a situation that you could be dealing with, where the people involved or the reason behind what's going on is because there could be someone who could gain something from your presence or your gifts or your talents or your abilities, okay? Or there could be a situation, a corporation, a group that could gain from your specific skill set. And you want to ask why? Like, why are you so interested in me? Where did this come from? Especially if it's random stuff, because there's agents everywhere. There could be a person who's really just interested in you, and some of you guys could have this kind of like trauma associated with maybe love bombing or, people gaslighting you, dealing with weird connections. And you may be questioning someone's affection, even if it's genuine, right? So you got to know yourself when you watch these readings. You can't be just watching these readings and walking into these readings blind, all fresh and raw and open for people to take advantage of you, okay? That is against my best interest. It would benefit me for me to be able to take advantage of you, but I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to succeed. So in order to set you up for success, you need to evaluate this situation from both sides. Are you pushing someone away or questioning someone or skeptical about a person because your own trauma is causing you not to believe that you're lovable or that you don't deserve this type of love? Or is it a situation where somebody is trying to gain something from you? That is the question in this reading. Now, light bulb moment, eureka, bitch, sudden realization, feeling inspired, insightful awareness. So you're starting to have some type of light bulb go off in your mind about a person's affections or the way in which someone is pursuing you, whether it's professionally, personally, or romantically, okay? Bonnie and Clyde, ride or die, us against the world, dedicated partnership. Now, that's only, this is loyalty, but that is only afforded, or it should only be afforded in your case, to people who deserve it. Okay. So somebody's like, oh, I'm with you. I'm always with you. And I got your back and we together forever to the end of time. Okay. Like a Disney movie. And you need to figure out whether or not this person is genuine. because this could also be somebody who, Bonnie and Clyde were robbers. They were criminals. And no matter what interpretation that you watch regarding Bonnie and Clyde, the history is told by the victors. Okay. So obviously they weren't victorious in whatever it is that they were doing. And then I'm also getting like Love is Blind. Okay. And I'm not talking about necessarily the TV show when it comes to people on the show, but like more so the energy of the show, the premise of the show, the scenarios and the themes of Love is Blind. Right. And in that particular show, I'm also hearing Love Island, like any of those reality TV shows where love is involved. You want to look at those themes and you want to look at people's intentions when they go on those shows and how they present themselves and, the ways that they act once, especially on Love is Blind, once they are revealed and they see who it is that they chose and how their demeanor can change when they see the reality of whoever it is that was behind that, wall. Okay. I feel like there could be someone here who could be hiding themselves or wearing some type of mask. There's a loud drill in the background, you guys. Please excuse that. Like the video, child. Please like the video. Somebody could be really drilling a point home or driving a point home. Like they're overly explanatory. Okay, we have guarded. It just popped out. Performer, entertainment industry, and purify your energy and aura. So some of you could be performers. You could just be somebody posting on social media. You could be somebody who has a YouTube channel. You could be somebody who is in the entertainment industry. You could be an aspiring actor, actress. You could be someone who wants to be in film, production. Any of the jobs that surround entertainment could be something that you do either as a career profession or as like a hobby. Okay. This could be the person who you're dealing with for some of you guys, but this could also be just a regular person who's putting on a show as if they were on stage. Okay. And Spirit is telling you that there needs to be some type of purification. It's like the purification is not necessarily getting rid of people, because that's what a lot of folks may want to tell you, but it's more so of purifying the energy, making it clear, making it clean. When you send water through a filtration system, you want to purify it of any toxins or any negative influences. And I feel like this is kind of speaking of a situation where if somebody wants to be your friend or they want a business partnership, they want to partner up with you in business or professionally, or they want you to come work for them, or they have some type of idea that they want to present to you as far as a money-making opportunity or another stream of income, or if this is somebody even romantically approaching you, Spirit is basically saying you need to purify it. You need to get down to the nitty-gritty of the situation and figure out what is going on. That's what this is saying, because there is a mask being worn here. There's somebody who's putting on a show. Someone is performing, or someone has a reason to want to collaborate with you for some reason. Okay, they have a specific intent behind wanting to connect with you, and Spirit is telling you to protect yourself until you figure out what that is. And for example, if this is a dating situation and you met this person at a bar or a lounge or somewhere where there was alcohol, cannabis, any type of consciousness prohibiting substances, right? You want to be around this person in a setting where those substances or those influences are not present. So if you met them in a bar or a lounge or a club, go on a date with them or go somewhere on an outing that is like not anywhere to do with alcohol, right? If this is a situation where you met this person at night, go somewhere with them during the daytime, in the light of day, bitch. Okay, but that's what this purifying energy is. I want y'all to expand your minds. So Spirit wants you to protect yourself until you purify the energy and figure out what are the real influences of a person's affection or the real influences of a person's interest. Okay, one more card. For the collective spirit, what do they need to know? Ooh, surprise, jump into conclusions. What did I say earlier about your triggers and your trauma? All right. Don't fuck up a good thing. in your own life. Now, jumping to conclusions says you may be jumping to conclusions without all the information. Now, again, this could go both ways. You could be jumping to conclusions thinking somebody is, wanting to, use you in a negative way, or that they have some type of ulterior motives, personal gain. But you could also be jumping to conclusions about whether or not this person is genuine. So you really do have to go within, okay? Nobody can tell you, even if the cards say what the cards say, the fact that there's so many different interpretations can mean different things. So me as a reader and what I've experienced, I have to say, okay, because this is how I used to be as a reader. I used to immediately go to the first thought. And that is usually the correct thought in most instances, because your first mind is usually your right mind. But there are times where things can be different, or they can deviate from your first mind because it's based on interpretation. And what comes to mind for me first may be different than what comes to mind for you. Right? Because we have different sets of experiences. It doesn't make either of us or any of us any more or less than another person. It just means that we have different sets of experiences. Ooh, I forgot to do something. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, new job, astral travel. So again, I accidentally forgot to put the phone on Do Not Disturb. And sometimes the readings get cut off and it really pisses me off. And I'm just not in the mood today, y'all. It's a lot going on, child. So I just wanted to go ahead and put the phone on Do Not Disturb. That could be a message for some of you guys. All right. There could be a person who wants you to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or you listen. What I do is usually my phone is on power save mode so that my battery lasts as long as possible, because I don't like to overcharge my phone. Anyway, when I'm doing readings and when I'm doing like any type of shorts or long form content, I put my phone on regular power mode so it's not yellow on the battery anymore. And then I also put it on Do Not Disturb in a specific setting where no calls, texts, or anything can come through except for my kids. Now, this could be also interpreted in many ways, because this could be a person who wants you to be all about them. They may want you to be all in their face all the time, 24/7. They want you to always be catering to them. They want you to always be around them. They don't want anything or anyone else to occupy your attention or your time once they come into your life. And that could be very toxic. And some of you guys may be realizing that. And you may be the type of person who's been through a lot of toxic connections, but you don't want to cut yourself off from the possibility of connections. And you're like, well, I don't want to jump to conclusions about this person. I don't want to, make it seem like I don't like them. I don't want them to be, thrown off by me putting up boundaries. So I'm just going to let some things slide. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't second guess yourself because you want to allow someone to come in. That's a part of your growth as well. Once you go through a situation that could be very challenging when it comes to relationships, you're very raw, you're very open. And sometimes because you've been in situations that are negative and you feel like you've healed from them, which you more than likely have done a lot of the work. Sometimes when you get out of that and you're like, now I see what the signs are for somebody acting this way. And, I don't want to be over vigilant, right? You have to have balance, because when it gets to that point, then you're swaying too far to the other end of the pendulum. Do you see what I'm saying? You don't want to sway on either side of the pendulum too heavily. You don't want to be too overcritical of people and make new people pay for other people's situations with you. You don't want to make the new person pay for what the old person did, but you also don't want to be too lenient and allow for things to slide and slip, kind of allowing access for another toxic person to come into your life. So what Spirit, I feel like, is trying to say with that Purify card that we saw earlier as well, is that there could be a person who is picking up on, because we have to understand that if you're watching tarot, you already are tapped into the spiritual vibration of the world, right? But what sometimes we do as people who are tapped into spirituality, knowing the perception of spirituality and knowing the way that the world at large and a majority of people view certain spiritual practices, we think that it's like a club that only we're in with a few other people. But what we don't realize is that a lot of people, and I'm saying this because the astral travel card, and look, seeing through the fog, signs and symbolism. I'm trying to hip y'all to some tea real quick because this is what I had to learn. I learned it. And I'm still learning. I don't know everything, but I'm going to tell you what I learned. And you can add in the comments. Let folks know in the comments if I'm tripping or if I'm really speaking some facts. And tell people what you know that I may not have said. Okay? Because this is a community. Now, what you have to realize when you're getting into this spiritual journey, or when you've been in the spiritual journey for a while, is that you're not invincible. But you also have a level of protection that may be a little bit higher than other people because of your awareness. But again, you have to balance that, right? Because you'll think that you're in this club of, spiritual practices, reading tarot, following astrology and all these things, looking at birth charts, and you think you know how to kind of like foresee things that are happening. But the fact about life and the reality of life is that you can't prevent anything. Like if you're meant to experience something, you're going to experience regardless of whether you want to or not, regardless of what anybody else wants you to experience or not. Some things are just etched and set in stone. And when you have this awareness of spirituality, you have to understand that even if a person coming towards you doesn't necessarily resonate with the same level of practice when it comes to spiritual practices as you do, or if they're not as aware of different magical things and energetic things as you are, it doesn't mean that they don't have access to tap into that energy. Okay, clock the T. Clock the T. Because it's a lot of people out here casting spells with their words and their mouths. And because they're unaware of the power that they hold, either from their ancestors or from their own past lives, they're out here, just saying things and doing things, and things end up happening. And you are thinking, basically, like I always say, as soon as you think you're untouchable, that's when you get touched. So you're thinking that you have all this spiritual knowledge and that you're, hip to the T, and, ain't nobody, now that you see what's going on with all the people who you've been dealing with and all the demons you may have encountered, you see how to avoid it. Don't do that. Because sometimes people who are unaware of their gifts and their abilities have this sixth sense where they just do things that are aligned and that co-sign with their abilities. And you may be thinking one thing and they have the ability to kind of overpower that. So you just have to stay on your P's and Q's. And the way that works is when you are in a situation with someone, whether they want to be your friend or whether they're a family member, whether they're a love interest, whatever, professional, I don't care. You have to be able to say, you know what, this was a red flag, this was a red flag, that was a red flag. So I'm going to operate in this way, knowing that, so that I can keep my protections and my guards up, whether or not that person knows it or not, right? And you can't allow yourself to get too wrapped up in it, because you have to be able to still live your life. But these are always things that you have to keep in the back of your mind. So there's a new job here for some of you guys, or someone is getting a new job. But I feel like a lot of you have a spiritual connection with somebody. It says you may be having out of body experiences. This could be deja vu. This could be weird. That's so Raven moment, seen in the future. But it's like your higher self, or maybe your future self, is trying to tell you something. And you may feel like you're jumping to conclusions, and spirit wants you to, nip that in the bud. Do not overlook things just because you don't want to close off, right? You don't have to be closed off, but you also don't have to be gullible and vulnerable. Okay. Some of you are astral projecting into the future, and you're seeing some type of opportunity professionally that you're going to have. And you don't want to make too much of it yet. You don't want to make a big deal out of it yet. But I think you should take it seriously. Like if you've been having dreams, or if you've been having any deja vu about how your future is going to go, because I've been having weird deja vu. I've had deja vu my whole life. But like there's certain times in my life where it gets very heavy. It gets very visceral. Like I can feel it a lot more strongly than other times. And like this deja, it's like when it happens and it's an important deja vu, I'm like, wow, okay, this deja vu hit different. I need to pay attention to this. This is important because it's confirming to me that I'm on the right path. right? And I think some of you guys are very powerful with this astral travel card and also the light bulb moment. It kind of feels like you're becoming aware of your abilities and what you're going to be doing at a future point in your life. And I think Spirit doesn't want you to write that off. They don't want you to excuse that. They don't want you to dismiss it, because there could be someone coming into your life who could be a very negative influence on you, who could alter the time frames and the trajectories of your future. It's not that you're not going to achieve these things, but like, if you're meant to be somebody who is in front of a large crowd of people or influencing a large group of people, say you're meant to be a singer, a dancer, a performer, somebody who is on the main stage, somebody who is basically a focal point of the masses, right? Bonnie and Clyde were famous, but they weren't famous in a way that was necessarily beneficial to them. It's more so they were infamous. And it's like Spirit is asking you right now, like, hey, you might want to be protective over the people who you allow in your life at this time, because you're already starting to get signs. And because we saw the signs and symbolism card, you're already starting to get signs of where you've been astral projecting in the future, where you've been going in your dreams, and what you've been seeing while you were there that's associated with your forward trajectory. Okay, I know I'm talking loud. My son be telling me I'll be yelling. You know, I think it's because I was a millennial. And, you know, we didn't have AirPods and stuff like that. We just had them big fuzzy ear things. And then, you know, the old ones that had the metal over the top. And then you had the two little fuzzy balls. And it was a tape player, or it was just a radio. And then they came out with the CD player. Okay, I was listening to those way too loud. Okay. So now my ears are messed up, child. And I can't hear. So I talk louder. So please excuse me. You could turn the volume down. Anyway, that's what I feel like Spirit wants you to know. It's like they don't want you to jump to conclusions when it comes to people coming into your life, because there are going to be certain connections that are a part of this forward trajectory. But there's also going to be people who have sixth senses and gifts and abilities that they may not be aware of, and they are sent, because I said something about agents earlier, and they're sent as agents. Yeah, something about a decision you need to make. Somebody's trying to like change your decision, but they're like agents to throw you off your path. Yeah, 8 of Swords. So you're thinking about this decision all day, every day. You could be an Aries, a Gemini, possibly a Libra. I wanted to say Taurus for the Queen of Pentacles, but Taurus automatically came out my mouth. But I was trying to say Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Strongly Gemini. Also Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Anyway, you could be thinking about something a whole lot, and you're not really connected very much to your emotions. You could be trying to take your emotions out of a situation so that you can make a logical decision. And it's like you're trying to overcome your fear when making this decision, but there's this lurking, sneaking, lamenting thought that keeps popping up in your mind. I feel like there's a lot of pain and hurt that you guys have been through when it comes to people using you and taking advantage of you in the past. And with the Queen of Pentacles, this is basically reinforcing this guarded energy. You're very protective. You want to keep what's important to you and what's meaningful to you in a safe place. I also feel like there's something stressing you out or causing some type of fear or anxiety that's distracting you from what's important. And Spirit doesn't want you to get distracted in that way. There could be someone who's worried about you making a decision because you're not including them in that decision. I do get this energy of a very like overpowering person, like somebody who wants to dominate or overpower your energy, kind of like that person who wanted to put your phone on do not disturb. They don't want you to be around anybody else. They don't want your time being taken up by anyone else. And with the power mode thing that I was telling y'all about earlier, it kind of feels like they want you to put your phone on do not disturb and turn your power mode off of battery save, right? So it's like if you're preserving your energy, if you're saving your energy, if you're trying to maintain balance when it comes to your energy fields, you know, your chakras, whatever you do, it kind of feels like there's a person coming in or an entity or a spirit or whatever the fuck. There's an energy that I feel of someone coming in who wants you to come out of that preservation mode so that you can invest all your energy into them and not into anything else. So I do feel like some of you guys need to be very careful of that, because it feels kind of like a succubus energy, and it could be a Gemini or a Taurus, possibly a Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, Libra. But I think maybe y'all are fire signs, I don't know, or your fire energy is activated in your chart. But I feel like this is you needing to make a decision. And I think someone may be wanting to, like, it kind of feels like with that Ace of Swords as well. It's like someone wants to isolate you so they can kind of like influence the decisions that you make. And I don't like that. What's the Two of Wands? Why did that come out for the collective spirit? Oh, my Lord. Good Lord. Ten of Swords. But it is reversed on the floor. Yeah, so you're healing from a lot of pain, a lot of lies, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of backstabbing, a lot of like sneak attacks, a lot of people who smiled in your face. Whole time they want to take your place. The backstabbers. Backstabbers. You got to do the background singers too. But in the reverse, Ten of Swords is basically saying that you're taking these swords out. Okay, it's kind of like you may have been shocked when whatever this was happened, but in reality, be real with me. If you don't be real with nobody else, be real with me so you can be real with yourself. Right? When you watching this alone, can't nobody else hear this. Maybe they can. I don't know. But be real with me so you can be real with yourself, boo. It wasn't as shocking as what you thought. You was like, oh, but then you was like, okay. So whatever this was, it's like you kind of knew or felt that this could be a possibility of somebody in the past doing this Ten of Swords to you. Yeah, the Hermit, the Star, Virgo energy, Aquarius energy, and the Page of Pentacles. I feel like you found out some information that you were hoping wasn't true, but that you had to just accept to be true. Okay. I feel like you discovered that someone, excuse me, may not have had your best interest at heart. And then the Star card is in the lantern of the Hermit, which is kind of crazy, it's like the star is lighting the Hermit's way down his path. Okay. But sometimes I feel this energy of like this Hermit possessing the star within the lantern. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like that possessive energy. And the Star card is like, now the genie is out of the bottle. I'm a genie in a bottle, baby. And then she said it too. She said, I feel like I've been locked up tight for a century of lonely night, waiting for someone to release me. Then I'm standing blowing kisses my way, but that don't mean I'm gonna give it away. Baby, baby, baby. Yeah, so somebody might be trying to just be a little bit too, I don't know. If you really go within, you will be able to see what somebody was doing in the past. And you'll be able to see how you kind of felt or knew that they were doing that in the past. It's like you got to go within yourself and basically open up and allow for the knowledge that Spirit is trying to give you to come in. Because this situation is kind of controlling you in a lot of ways and making you afraid to make decisions that are in your best interests. I feel like Spirit is trying to show you the signs, or you're realizing how to see the signs of a person who could be love bombing you, or a person who could be possessive, or a person who may not have your best interest at heart. It's like you're figuring out how to heal yourself. Okay. And you're kind of in a very, whoever's resonating with this, you could be in a very precarious position right now. Like I said, you're very raw and open. Yeah, the Empress. You're very raw and open because you're like, it's like when a child rides a bike and they fall off the bike. They're gonna, or you know, fall off a horse or anything. You're going to be nervous or scared to get back on the bike because now you're questioning yourself. Before you were fearless. Before you went into a situation like no holds bar, you were just ready to go. But when you fall off the bike or when you fall off the horse, that's why people say it's so important to get back on, because if you don't, that fear is always going to be there. The only way to overcome the fear is to get back on the bike, you know, to get back out there, to get back in the saddle, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's what Spirit is trying to tell you to do. But they want you to be aware of all the aspects that go along with that on both sides of the pendulum, so that you can swing more so in the middle than on either side or the other. Okay. Now we have the Magician, child, with the Empress and the Star card again. Now we got Aries energy, possibly Gemini energy, Scorpio energy, Aquarius, Libra, Taurus, Virgo. We saw Virgo with the Hermit, and we also saw the Aquarius card before. Gemini with the Eight of Swords. Taurus with the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I don't really get Capricorn as much. I'm getting more of like Taurus and Virgo energy for earth signs. Aquarius, Gemini, not so much Libra, but could be definitely Libra. And Scorpio. Aries now though as well. This is also about focus with the Magician and the Star card. It's like Spirit wants you to not be distracted by things that don't matter. Because if you think about or are distracted by or preoccupied by things that are unimportant to your situation, because I don't know your situation, but if you're distracted by things, or you're getting like confused, or you're getting too many people's opinions, clouding your own judgment, it kind of feels like cloudiness, that fog that we saw in the oracle cards. It's like Spirit is trying to advise you that your abundance is going to come, especially if you're a feminine energy. Your abundance is going to come from like clearing that fog, purifying your energy. Like I said earlier, if this is somebody who you met in a situation where there was alcohol, go somewhere where you can get to know them without alcohol. See them when they're sober. Can they be sober? You know what I mean? Like what factors, what outside factors are influencing your decision making at this time with this person or with this situation? Is it friends? Is it family? Is everybody giving their 2 cents? Are you listening to too many readings? Is it a situation where you're inebriated or you're high? Like, what is the situation that's clouding your judgment? Because it's like Spirit wants you to get laser focused on what this person is doing, on the action that they're taking, and really focus on what's important and pay attention. Because I do feel like there could be a person here for some of you guys who's trying to kind of like cheat the system, you know? Like they're trying to put on a show and make it seem like they're one way when they're really another. And I feel like you need to slow down and see this person from all sides, because I feel like you're manifesting something that's going to bring you a lot of abundance and that's going to help you heal in a major way. And you're getting this information, like Spirit is giving you these downloads. That's why the astral travel card is here. It's like they're giving you these downloads about where your life is going to go in the future, or what you're meant to do, or what you're going to be able to achieve. Look, the title card. Yeah, it's about who you are. It's about your soul's journey. It's about your mission, your assignment, what you came here to do. And look at what's at the bottom. Devilish person. Someone has intentions that are not in your best interest. Be watchful of who you're around. And then you have pretended, bitch. Did I not say somebody was wearing a mask? Pretending. Someone is pretending to be one way when they're really another way. Okay. You know, I'm just saying, like, I'm not trying to be negative about your boo, but what I'm saying is, like, hey, whether this is your friend, your ride or die, somebody who you known for a long time, your A1 day one, I don't give a fuck. It's something that Spirit is telling you that you're meant to do in the future, that this person may cause a blockage for you in achieving. It's like somebody knows behind the scenes, they're plotting on your abundance. They know that you're going to be someone important. And because you've been through so much shit where people have groomed you into thinking that you're a nobody, you may not see yourself in that way, but other people do. I'm trying to... Okay, what's the title card? Let me calm down. 5 of Wands. Page of Cups. Page of Wands. Okay, that's 6 wands total. So you're getting attention, being attractive, winning in life, being successful, having a platform, whatever it means. This is a confirmation that this friend, this sibling, this person, this could be your sister, this could be your friend, this could be maybe your brother for some of y'all. This could be somebody who you just met. Hey. And it's like they're competing to get your attention. They want to always have your attention on them. And I feel like it's because they know that you're going to be somebody successful. Queen of Swords. Yeah. Or this person is just, it could also be a situation where you're dealing with somebody who's a troublemaker. Because if I recall, there was a show about Bonnie and Clyde. It was either a show or a movie, and I watched it years ago. Can't remember what it was called. Maybe it was called Bonnie and Clyde. But I feel like Bonnie was the fucking problem. It's like, I don't, and I'm not saying women are the problem, because men be the problem too. Everybody be the problem. But what I'm saying is, I remember that there was an aspect of that show where one of them didn't want to do the bad stuff, but the other one was kind of provoking them to do the bad stuff. And I kind of feel like it was Bonnie provoking Clyde. Now, you know, whether that's true or not, again, the depictions can be whatever they are. But I feel like you can see past the illusion of what someone is doing, and you may be seeing like into the future because of what you've experienced just now or recently or in your past with another person, that whoever this is could be a problem for your career or your professional life. And you don't want them to get in the way. It's like Spirit is trying to warn you through this reading. 8 of Swords, Queen of Cups. Yeah, it's like you're having dreams about somebody causing problems for you in the future or something like that. I don't know if you even are aware that you're having these dreams, but it feels like you're trying to make good decisions right now to heal your finances, to heal your abundance, to feel more prosperous in life, not just financially, but just quality of life. You're trying to improve your quality of life. And you want to make good decisions that aren't drastic, you know, spontaneous, unthought out decisions. Like you want to make well thought out, good decisions for your life to move forward from whatever you've experienced in the past. And I feel like somebody's got you being very reckless. This person is extremely reckless. And I feel like you know that this could cause a conflict in the future to your success, or it could cause an issue when it comes to you overcoming an obstacle that you have, whether this is a toxic trigger or a toxic habit or behavior. It's like you can't stop thinking about the fear and anxiety that you feel when it comes to you being friends with this person. It's like Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the Empress as well. This is like feminine energy. So either you're a feminine trying to protect yourself, or you're a masculine trying to protect yourself and find the right feminine. Or this is a situation where it's like women together as like friends, because this 5 of Wands is giving like catty bitches. It's giving like bitches who really are jealous of you and envious of you and very toxic and don't want to see you succeed, because they're in competition with you. And I'm not saying it's any of these people with the Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and Queen of Swords, but I feel like the fact that all of those cards came out and the only one that didn't come out was the Queen of Wands, but we still have the Empress, is showing me that there's something about the way you look, the way you dress. I said attractiveness. I said your platform. I said whatever success that you have in your career professionally, you know, whatever popularity you have, whatever you're meant to be doing. There's something about that that's correlated because it's Wands with the Queen of Wands that we do not see. And it may be a fire sign. It could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, feminine, but it doesn't have to be. That could be the energy that you're exuding that is making someone else jealous, because the Queen of Wands is the only court card in the Wands deck that doesn't have the salamanders, which means she doesn't have that extra layer of protection. She kind of like has such a strong intuition and a strong trust in herself and her own judgment that she really don't give a fuck about what people say. She gonna do what she want to do regardless, because she's confident. She's beautiful. It's like the beauty queen. It's like the girl, you know, it's like the girl who just knows that she got it, no matter, and I'm not talking about quintessential conventional beauty. I'm just talking about somebody who exudes a level of confidence that triggers other people, men and women of any sexuality, preference. It's intimidating. It's intimidating. And I feel like you could be in a situation with a group of people or around people who you see through them. It's like you see through whatever illusions that they're trying to create, or you see through whatever isolation that they're like, they could be trying to make fun of you or crack little stupid jokes at you or do little slick shit that really is kind of like undermining you, subliminals, all that type of stuff like that. And I feel like you're picking up on it and you're like, or somebody's being overly flattering, right? They could be trying to butter you up, flatter you. Oh my God, you're so great. You're so beautiful. You're so this, you're so that. Like, bitch, do you want to be me? Because it's getting a little weird, ho. It kind of feels like that. It feels like somebody... And it kind of feels like with this Ten of Swords reverse, it kind of feels like this person knows that they kind of rubbed you the wrong way, because I feel like y'all are peeping game on somebody and the light bulb is going off and you're starting to connect the dots of like, wow, okay, this person popped up and showed up, which is totally not a coincidence. Y'all will learn that I don't believe in fucking coincidences. That shit is crazy. And look at what's at the bottom. Infatuation, obsession, attachment, temporary passion driven by lust, fetish. So fetishes could even just be people who are competing with you or jealous of you because they want to be you. The fetish could be that they're obsessed with people who have your features, right? Just say you have very unique features or beautiful features. They could be obsessed with the fact that you have green eyes, or that you are tall, or that you're short, or that it doesn't matter what you are. It's like whatever your features are, they're obsessed with it in some way. And it's like they will compete with you in a position that you're in, and they will be the person like Selena with the lady. You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be that. It could also be situations with like, you know, any girl groups that you've seen in the past, even guy groups. Men do this shit too. Men be thinking, oh, we above that shit. But no, they're not. Men compete with other men in a very retaliatory way as well. Anything else the collective needs to know? Committed. It says devoted, loyal, serious, dedicated, unwavering, sticking by you, following through, keeping a promise, keeping one's word. Yes. Genuine interest, getting to know you better, intrigued by you, building a deeper connection, wanting to learn from you, respects your opinion. Now, this is the thing. I'm telling you, you're going to be able to tell the difference. Yes, there is someone here that is committed to showing genuine interest in you, but there's also an energy here of a person who's pretending. All right. And you could be trying to figure out who out of the group is doing what. What is this committed card before we get this advice? Y'all please like the video, subscribe. Oh, bitch, not the devil. We got two big back bitches out here. Okay. That one bald headed. So is somebody bald? Okay, listen, let me stop. 6 of Cups. Yeah, so there's a person from your past, either a sibling, a friend from your childhood, somebody who you're attached to, maybe with a baby daddy or a baby mama, ex-husband, ex-wife. Somebody from your past is trying to force their way into your life. I also feel like there's someone who reminds you of a toxic person from your past that's very forceful, domineering, persuasive. But I was trying to say possessive. I also feel like there could be someone from your past who's trying to guilt trip you and make you feel guilty about not including them in something that they don't have no business. It's kind of like your friend from elementary school that you were best friends with finding out that you're famous and making you feel obligated to help them and take care of them and get them out the hood. Fuck that bitch. Anyway, y'all be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Thank you for being here, you guys. Get in the comments. Let me know if it resonated. And I really appreciate all of you guys for being here. If you found this reading helpful or beneficial to you and you want to take it a step further, please consider donating through PayPal, Venmo, or Zelle. It helps me to get things for the channel like cards, because some of these decks I've had for years, but the first deck that we used was a new deck, and I get new decks periodically when I can to make the energy a little bit more fluid, figure out if there's any messages that we haven't gotten, because sometimes when you use the same decks, it can get repetitive. But those donations really do help out the channel, even with getting supplies like Palo Santo. I need some more Palo Santo, sage, candles, all that type of stuff. But whatever you can do, I appreciate it. Even if you can't donate, just engage with the content, you guys. It really does help. And I will see you guys next time. Enjoy your day. Bye.